Ladies and gentlemen, the chief guest has arrived. In line with the requirements from the Abu Dhabi Education Council, we have adopted Environment, Health and Safety or EHS to be a prerequisite and a common good in our school. Teachers and students are continuously reminded on the importance of EHS and what they need to know to ensure their safety as well as others. Our EHS school team is constantly working towards this opportunity to motivate the staff to work together for a common good. I would like to give you some instructions. In case of fire, use the exit doors towards the both sides of the auditorium. You can see the first door and the last door towards the both sides of the auditorium. Washrooms are located towards outside the auditorium. Ladies washroom towards this side and gents washrooms towards this side. Thank you. Good evening, Namaste, Assalamu Alaikum, Sat Sri Akal, Hola. Coiled in the shell of loneliness until love leaves its high holy temple and comes into our sight to liberate us into life.
Humanity arrives, and in its train comes ecstasies, some memories of pleasure and ancient histories of pain. Yet, if we are bold, it strikes us with a chain of fear from our soul.
We are weaned away from our timidity in the flash of love's light. We dare, we brave, and suddenly we see love caused all that we are. As life is fascinating, we have somewhere lost our affections, our relations, and most of all our emotions. If there are no stars, there won't be any beauty in the sky. If there is no difference of opinion, there won't be any innovative ideas or creative ideas. This quinquennial function in our school today is our way of thanking everyone involved with this school since last 5 years. And for us to demonstrate the development of the teachers and the young and dynamic children to uphold the pride of the institute. To catalogue the challenges we face, the endeavors we have made, and the success all we have achieved, and to show what we were, what we are, and what we will be. Here we are hence much privileged to stand before you to extend profound wishes and greetings from the bottom of our heart, to bring the warmth of our affection through the stream of love, to welcome each and every one of you.
Distinguished dignitaries, principals and vice principals from Bhavans, principals from our sister schools in Abu Dhabi, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, members from the press and everyone else assembled here on this very proud day for AAVIRBHAAV in Abu Dhabi.
My name is Lakshmi
and I am Priyanka.
We will be your host for the inaugural part of today's function.
We are blessed to live in a great country, a country which has given all of us assembled here today in life a new beginning. As we begin today's evening, as a mark of respect to this great nation, let us all rise to the national anthem of UAE.
Nothing in life starts without a prayer. With a prayer, we surrender ourselves to the Almighty and hope for His benevolent hand for guiding us through all our challenges and successfully coming out on the top each and every day and every moment in our lives. True to our tradition, we extend this belief to all our programs in the school. We begin with the offerings to the Almighty. The Quran verses will be recited by Master Abdul Hafiz. This will be followed by prayer song by the band, Bhavan's band, or the bees as they are called. Ishwar Ya Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولقد خلقنا الإنسان من سلالة من طين ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار مكين ثم خلقنا النطفة علقة فخلقنا العلقة مضغة فخلقنا المضغة عظاما فكسونا العظام لحما ثم أنشأناه خلقا آخر فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين. ثم إنكم بعد ذلك لميتون ثم إنكم يوم القيامة تبعثون. ولقد خلقنا فوقكم سبع طرائق وما كنا عن الخلق غافلين. صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم.
तेरे जहां में नहीं कोई हमारा। ईश्वर या अल्लाह ये पुकार सुन ले, ईश्वर या अल्लाह हे दाता। ईश्वर या अल्लाह ये पुकार सुन ले, ईश्वर या अल्लाह हे दाता। एक तू ही बरो
That was really divine. The day today, starting with the UAE National Day celebration in school, has brought within its purview flawless festivities and exciting enjoyment. Keeping up with the mood, we would like to welcome our chief guest and all other guests assembled here today.
We are very honored to have amongst us this evening our Honorable Chief Guest, Padma Bhushan Dr. B.M. Hegde, a physician par excellence, an astute clinician and a teacher in the true Guru tradition. Dr. Hegde's encyclopedic knowledge, brilliant oratorical skills and natural instincts to teach have endeared him to generations of students and teachers across the globe.
We are equally honored today to have in our midst our pillar of support, Dr. Abdul Rahman Al, as constantly mentioned by our director. Dr. Abdul Rahman is 911. He has been our SOS right from the day we opened this institution and is constantly available 24/7 at the service of the school. He has been the shield that has successfully safeguarded our school and ensures that we are on the right track. To a benefactor, pillar of support and rock of Gibraltar, we extend our heartiest welcome.
I welcome our guest of honor for today's function, Mr. Dinesh Kumar, First Secretary, Community Affairs, Embassy of India, Abu Dhabi. I would like to welcome Mrs. Meena Vishwanathan, Academic Coordinator and Educational Officer, Shikshan Bharati, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Ma'am, we are honored to have you here.
Michelle Obama once said, "Success isn't about how much money you make. It's all about the difference you make in people's lives." One such great soul is here amongst us. It's none other than our own chairman, Sri N.K. Ramachandran Menon. Behind every successful man, there is a woman. All the credit goes to you. I welcome our chairman's better half, Srimati Sudha Ramachandran.
Our Vice Chairman, Mr. K. Ashraf. I welcome you, sir. He is closely associated with social, educational, charitable and humanitarian activities both in India and in the Gulf countries. To welcome this eminent person, I would like to start with a quote. Once Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase." A man with such great faith is our own director, Mr. Suraj Ramachandran. I also welcome our director's better half, Mrs. Vinita Suraj.
With immense pleasure, I welcome all the principals from our sister concern. Mr. Prem Kumar, Principal, Bhavans, Kuwait. Mr. Krishna Bangera, Principal, Bhavans, Oman. Dr. Hina Raj, Principal, Bhavans, Bahrain. Ms. Saroja Sahadevan, Principal, Bhavans, Alain.
Now, I would like to welcome our all principals from our Abu Dhabi schools. Mr. Paramjit, Principal, Ryan International School. Dr. Thakur, Principal, Sunrise. India, Vice Principal, Sunrise. Dr. Abdul Qadir, Principal, Model School. Sister Carmen, Principal, St. Joseph. Miss Shubhanti, Principal, Indian School, Al-Watba. I request everyone to give a big round of applause for all our guests. I would like to welcome our directors from Bhavans Bahrain, Mr. Himanshu Sharma and Ritu Verma. I would like to welcome next Mr. Sudhir Shetty. On behalf of the entire Bhavans family, we would like to welcome all teachers, parents, students, guardians and all those present here in the hall who have taken time out of their precious time to attend our program and be a part of our festivities today. Once again, we welcome all assembled here on the 5th anniversary and Founders Day celebration.
We welcome all of you to AAVIRBHAAV. All the staff members and students, whether participating or helping out backstage, have put in their best of efforts to make this occasion indeed a milestone event in the life of Bhavans in Abu Dhabi. No words can describe the efforts spent in order to make this program a reality, and we are sure all of you here will enthuse the teachers and students with your wholehearted, thunderous round of applause. As part of the programs today, we will also be officially inaugurating this magnificent structure that you are all seated in today. Yes, our auditorium has finally become a reality. What you see today is the culmination of the tireless work that all of us in Bhavans have been putting in from 5 years ago in order to give all of us associated with the school the best in every sense of the word. The chairman's vision of having a performing arts center for the students, teachers and parents in school has come to reality, and in the program today, we will be officially naming this auditorium.
आरभ्यते न खलु विघ्न भये निचेह प्रारभ्य विघ्न विहता विरमन्ति मध्याः विघ्नेः पुनः पुनरपि प्रतिहन्यमानाः प्रारभ्य च उत्तम जनाः न परित्यजन्ति. To the people around us, the small effort of ours, AAVIRBHAAV, is a manifestation of all our emotions. We start today just like a newborn baby, like we did 5 years ago. The basic instinct in us all to grow, emerge and further ourselves. What started out as an idea 5 years back has germinated very quickly into a full-grown plant. Many have come, few have gone. But our growth have been strongly laid to ensure that we start anew and emerge from today as a bedrock of excellence in schooling. We are now ready, and together we march ahead with renewed vigor and enthusiasm to pursue our goals.
Coming together is the beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. And that is what we call as teamwork. Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and Private International English School has always been proof of what wonderful results can be achieved by a school in partnership with parents, teachers, students and the community at large. Bhavans in Abu Dhabi, planted in the rich tradition of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and nurtured by Bhavans Middle East, has reached a milestone where it has emerged as an independent organization. Today, we have gathered here to look back at our roots and celebrate this very spirit in us.
Today, our principal, Mrs. Girija Baiju, would be the most contented and excited person among the audience. She has seen and steered the school from its inception to this proud day. I am sure she must be honored to have you all in her bhavan and is eager to welcome you all. For the welcome speech, may I invite our principal, Mrs. Girija Baiju, to welcome this august gathering. Please put your hands together.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Dr. B.M. Hegde, distinguished guest, Mr. Dinesh IAS, First Secretary, Embassy of India, Abu Dhabi, our guest of honor, Mrs. Veena Vishwanath, Education Officer of Bhavans, Dr. Abdur Rahman, CEO, to His Highness Sheikh Syed bin Saif Muhammad Al Nahyan, Chairman of Bhavans Middle East, Sri Ramachandra Menon, Mrs. Ramachandra Menon, Director of Bhavans Middle East, Mr. Suraj Ramachandran, Dr. Vinita Suraj, Mr. K.K. Ashraf, Vice Chairman, Principals and Vice Principals from the Middle East and Abu Dhabi, Mr. Nandakumar, our Vice Principal, Mr. Krishna Kumar Das, Admin Manager, teachers, parents and my dear students. It is my very great honor to welcome you this evening to our 5th anniversary celebration and a hearty welcome to Abu Dhabi Bhavans. We have gathered here to share our joy on completing 5 years of Bhavans in Abu Dhabi, and we are very proud to have all great dignitaries with us today to share our joy. Today is a special day in the history of Bhavans as it is our 5th anniversary. This is so precious a moment for us because we have been successful in the realm of imparting education. A few years ago, our chairman, Mr. Ramachandran Menon, felt the need to change the concept of schooling. He entered the field of education with hope, dreams, and aspirations. He sought opportunities, a future, and a means to make all that he hoped for come true, and as a result, the Bhavans Middle East came into existence. Bhavans Private International English School was established in 2010. At Bhavans, education is not just the amount of information that is put into a child's brain. As Swami Vivekananda said, education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. Without focused commitment and the dedication to building a solid organization that could really make a difference, we simply would not be where we are today. The duty which is conferred upon me is to welcome everyone to this great celebration. Our chief guest, Dr. Professor B.M. Hegde, is a physician par excellence and a teacher in the true Guru tradition. Professor Hegde's vast knowledge and natural instinct to teach have endeared him to generations of students and teachers across the globe. Sir, we are sincerely thankful to you for being with us in spite of your busy schedule. This attests to the great support and importance you extend to Bhavans. Allow me to extend a hearty welcome to you, sir, to this very special occasion. Today we have a distinguished guest from the embassy, Mr. Dinesh IAS, First Secretary, Community Affairs, Embassy of India. Sir, we are greatly honored by your presence. A warm welcome to you, sir. Our Honorable Chairman, Mr. Ramachandra Menon, the founder and the lifeblood of Bhavans, Middle East. He sleeps less and works 24/7 in planning and organizing all events and activities in all his 7 schools. Chairman Sir, I welcome you in my humble words to this prestigious program. Dr. Abdul Rahman, CEO, to His Highness Sheikh Syed bin Saif Mohammed Al Nahyan, has always been a pillar of strength. Sir, you're always there with us. Thank you so much. A hearty welcome to you, sir. I also want to welcome my colleagues and parents who are joining us today via our internet webcast, a virtual extension of our meeting in this auditorium. Today, as we celebrate the 5th anniversary of Bhavans, we pledge to work for every child and in the process open new vistas in the area of education. We do not wish to go where the path may lead. Instead, go where there is no path and leave a trail. Thank you one and all for being beside us for the past 5 years, and may you be ever near in the years ahead. We hope you will find your time spent on this occasion well spent. Thank you and enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Light symbolizes knowledge, purity, and is the dispeller of the darkness. I request the principal to escort the chief guest of honor, Dr. Abdul Rahman, Chairman, Madam Sudha Ramachandran, Vice Chairman, and the Director to come forward and light the lamp as we inaugurate today's function.
May the blessings of the Almighty be on us. As Gerald Manley Hopkins has said, and to quote, I do not think I have seen anything more beautiful than the flower that I have been looking at. I know beauty a lot by looking at it. Ladies and gentlemen, the flower may well have been Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Private International English School Abu Dhabi is a part of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. The distinguishing feature of Bhavans is its insistence and continuous perseverance to achieve quality education. It aims at the highest standards of academic excellence. It is a child-centered school which ensures the all-round development of each learner. Special care is taken to develop a strong character and a desirable value in all the children. Let us indulge in this journey which will take us on a tour where wonders are created by our little magicians. Ladies and gentlemen, Prayana, the journey of Bhavans Abu Dhabi.
It's a very good school. It's an experienced school.
School safe environment which prepares the kid for the outside world.
The school system is very friendly.
Kids are becoming very comfortable with the school environment. They love coming to the school The atmosphere of the school is very good.
I should use the word innovative.
The Abu Dhabi school, in all respect, are marquee school because we had a lot of opportunity to build a school that had in our mind. It would be our first school which we have built, can say, from scratch.
Our children are moving towards being global citizens. So that is our vision and we are moving towards it.
Children are school in a very safe and highly cultured atmosphere. The value education is embedded in this school.
Walking with the Lord, we are walking in the morning. Lift up your hearts for you're walking with God. Singing to the Lord, we are singing in sunshine. Lift up your hearts for you're singing to God. Hand in hand with everyone, we are walking, walking. Black and white and brown together, walking, walking. Singing new songs now, living new lives. Building new bridges, walking distant miles, like we are walking with the God. We are walking in the morning. Lift up your hearts, for you're walking with God.
So the process started, easily around 30 years back. He used to always say that when he finished his career, he would love to form a school.
I think he had a vision at that time. He had this vision of starting in a school maybe about 15 years back.
He is a very good visionary. He has his own visions in the field of education and which he has implemented very successfully.
He understands and value you.
I have seen an interview with our chairman. I really felt that it is something new I am going to learn from the school itself.
There was an article in one of the newspapers in Kuwait. It was sometime in maybe 98 or 97. It was a survey about the schools in Kuwait. So every parent participated in the interview. They were most unhappy the way schools were functioning in Kuwait at the time because of the lack of commitment from the teachers, lack of commitment from the management, and lack of commitment from everywhere in the school. So when I read it, I thought, why can't I make a difference? Why a different school? So I thought the most ideal is the AAVIRBHAAV, which is having around 400 schools in India and a very professional management and existing for such a long time. And I approached them in the year 2000 and they gave me approval to start schools anywhere in the Gulf with the vision I presented to them and with the ideology I presented to them. That is the way AAVIRBHAAV came to existence in the Gulf.
Teachers are our strength, and hence we strive to make sure that they are always motivated. They have the best of support. We try and make them very comfortable to help them do what they know and what they do best, which is teaching. So I'm sure it is these teachers who would go forward with us, and whatever plans we have for the next 5 years, which we've already communicated to our teachers, they would be the ones who would be carrying forward this plan and this vision, and hopefully would help us achieve the standards that we are looking forward to.
And I believe that every teacher who is educated has got the capacity to control their students.
One of the most positive thing which I want to highlight is our academics, especially teaching methodology, which is child-centered and enabling the children to meet the needs of the 21st century skills. That is the main highlight of our teaching.
That it is a complete child-centric education which we impart in this school. We are more connected to the practical type of teaching.
We started with a very holistic approach. We don't look only into the academic part, wherein we look also the physical, social, emotional and intellectual development of the children.
Teacher has an active role to coach and facilitate the students.
About the teachers in the English department, I want to say that all are very well qualified and a good set of teachers I've got.
So every day we will make a point where we all meet together and we will plan according to what we have to do for the next week.
बच्चों में हमने काफी क्रियात्मक अभिव्यक्ति के द्वारा उनको उजागर करने की कोशिश की. उनकी स्तर पे हमें तकनीकी तौर से उनका उजागर करना ये हमारा ध्येय था.
तो हमारा पूरा लक्ष्य ये है कि विद्या को ही ज्यादा बढ़ावा देना.
كون هذه المدرسة هي مدرسة هندية والطلاب غير عرب وهذه اللغة صعبة جدا عليهم، أعمل جادة على تبسيط هذه المادة من خلال عرض الصور وعرض الفيديو وعرض الأناشيد والأغاني لتكون المادة قريبة من الطلاب ويستوعبونها بشكل سلس ومبسط.
So we have to reach out to each child and make sure that everyone is getting the concepts clear.
And we do give research work, and we use many tools and techniques so that we can satisfy all level of students.
Even our campus is a digital campus, so in spite of all the traditional methods of teaching, we continuously give children so many learning skills and the scientific skills, research oriented work and investigative skills, so that the concept becomes so easy and simple for them to learn.
And when they see the real living specimens and then learn about it more in detail.
From grade 1 onwards, we are introducing IT to small children so that they can also develop many skills related to the IT.
In all the classrooms, we have projectors and laptops and smart boards. We have 2 labs, one computer lab and one is media room. In media room, all other subject teachers are also using.
So we start at the basic level and the children progress at a faster rate.
Each child is being taken care, especially in their behaviors.
When the teachers explain, it's easier to understand, and they show PPTs which are more easier.
They teach by activities, PPTs, presentations.
What I like the most is the practical demonstrations. Like we usually have in other schools is lecture, notes and exams. But our school, it's different. We have lectures, we have notes, but we also have explanations and revisions.
They teach in a very interactive form of learning. They explain it very nicely, and that's the thing I like it a lot.
We'll have so many activities to do. That's the best thing I like a lot.
Really, what I love about my school is the way the teachers cope up with the students, like how they teach the students.
Supportive and kind teachers, they understand us and we're able to learn more.
Bhavans is a unique school. It has initiated many learning as well as teaching strategies, and also gives us an opportunity to learn many multiple languages.
The method they adopt in teaching the kids, that's very good. And one is interaction, a one-to-one interaction and concentration on the child.
Teaching is very good, and the teachers have got very good teaching aids and good videos and worksheets and everything in place. So
the school tries to impart the kind of education. Basically, it's the overall development of their personality.
For any successful team, it's very important to have a strong leadership and highly committed team members. I think Bhavans Abu Dhabi has got a very perfect combination of these two.
Bharati Vidyavan is giving same importance for co-curricular activities also.
We let the students do work creatively themselves. We make them learn by themselves, which is very important in art.
Aerobic is the best way to keep ourselves fit and healthy. We had a steadily and progressive changes in sports.
Children use their academics and artistic skills together to do something feasible to the community.
The school magazine, which is a reflection of all the creativity of the students.
For the magazine student editors, we had a test and so many students participated. Among that, 5 of them were selected.
Pioneer, the newsletter, and it's a monthly newsletter, and we cover almost everything which happens every month.
The activities which we have planned for our English department is the English club which we are going to start from 29th October onwards. And we are going to have debate club.
And we have weekly events like poetry weeks, fairy tale week and things like that.
We have the auditorium coming up, which is close to 800-seater auditorium. We have a large playground. It will be a multi-purpose ground. We have a good canteen coming up that would easily seat around 250 students. The auditorium would also double up as an indoor sports complex. So we would be having a lot of table tennis. We'll be having foosball. We'll be having badminton and the other indoor games on the first floor, the auditorium, and the ground floor would be the ground for for football, for volleyball, and all other outdoor sports.
طبعا أنا أتشرف إني أكون من مؤسسين هذه المدرسة وأعمل فيها إلى الآن. طبعا تتكون المدرسة من معامل جديدة، من مكتبة، من مكاتب إدارية، من مبنى تعليمي مؤهل جديد يطابق لمواصفات مجلس أبو ظبي للتعليم 2015-2016.
I honestly believe they're a fantastic bunch of students, highly motivated. We've seen them, develop as individuals.
I'm proud to say that they are self-disciplined children.
So we ensure that each and every child is growing into a complete person and a global citizen.
As they grow up and come to the higher grades, the personality is developed and integrity, compassion, courageous. They are more self-disciplined. So they have a set of values and they grow up with their values and they know how to stand for their values.
They are very creative. They learn to work together. They listen to each other and they direct each other.
School CBSE team members, they went for the cluster level and they entered to the nationals. Also, one of our students have been qualified for the nationals.
And we recently did an art exhibition to promote the idea of giving, where through the artworks the students were sold and the money was given towards charity.
AAVIRBHAAV's Green Campus program initiated to cultivate the habit of plant more trees among our students.
This team of boys and girls, we separately go to each classes and we ask the students to bring plants.
I feel very good about it because I have a feeling that I'm doing something for my country.
We asked the students in your birthday, we asked them that if you can bring a potted plant for the school and we'll present it in front.
There is a variety of plants in the quadrangle and I thank all the members of our school who take care of it.
There is a hierarchy in the school where there is a HOD, there are section supervisors. So for the section, they take care of all the sections. The HODs will take care of the department. I just supervise what they are doing. So it is a very nice team work that we have in Bhavans.
We have effective monitoring system. We do observe their classes very systematically. There is a very good line management system in our schools. We have professional development policy in our school, according to which minimum a teacher should attend 25 hours training per year. And there are two types of professional development programs going on in our school. There is in-house program and the resource person from outside.
Since I am getting the support from the management, teachers and parents, so I am able to handle this situation properly.
I am getting a lot of support from the school management and this also helped me to achieve or do something for these children.
Management too is very cooperative.
Support of the management is in fact the best. I have not seen it in any other school where I was teaching earlier. I find here the atmosphere is a family atmosphere.
The school organizes workshops for teachers and students, teacher empowerment programs for enhancing the teaching talents of teachers, and for organizing all these programs and activities we are getting full support from our management.
Our department always work together. Whenever there is a problem, we sit together and we see that the problem is solved. Then we try to resolve the problem then and there, then only we will leave. Our parents are very supportive
very understanding, very cooperative.
We have academic orientation for parents that we do every year, and in which parent involvement is highly appreciated.
See, the parents are very cooperative. They really appreciate the school also, the way we deal with them, the education part of it, and others.
It's just the trust that the parents have on the teachers. They just drop their children to the teachers, and children will have a good time with the teachers.
Yes, parents are very happy. If they have any suggestions, they already share to us.
Without having a happy rapport with the parents, we cannot really bring up the child in the school.
Parent-teacher cooperation is a very important aspect of the school. We encourage a lot of feedback from the parents.
The school ensures that everybody gets an opportunity for one or the other program.
Bhavan has a very nice reputation.
The teachers teach really nicely. So my school is the best place because I want to learn everything. Teacher want to say something, I want to listen. My teacher will do for me all of them do activities. My library teacher will say stories. To learn math, I love all my teachers. They are very cute. I like my teacher because they can make me study, and I like to read story books, and I love to study. Teacher will teach us everything. Learn everything in the school. My teachers teach me very well. They teach me good values. They are so kind to us. They teach us good habits.
My teachers, they understand me, they encourage me, they always support me in my life.
The teaching quality, the educational trips, the co-curricular activities, and many other things gave us no time to get bored.
Opening a school for the sake of opening a school, anybody can open. But to run the way we run it, it's not so easy, and it requires too much of commitment and dedication. We had to be with the school. We have to feel the pulse of the school if we want to make it right.
Walking with the Lord, we are walking in the morning. Lift up your hearts, for you're walking with God. Singing to the Lord, we are singing.
That was really an amazing journey of private international English school, right?
Yes.
Don't you think, my dear audience, don't you think that we deserve a better, more louder clap? Thank you. Now, the time has arrived when the name for our much awaited auditorium block will be announced. The auditorium is a central and important space in a school. A school auditorium is a multi-utility hall that can change from traditional auditorium seating to an indoor sports hall. The auditorium is connected with the cafeteria in the ground floor where we can refresh our taste buds, and a multi-purpose playground. I request our honorable chief guest, our beloved chairman and our director to please come to the stage for inaugurating the new block.
Ladies and gentlemen, the process for finding the name of our auditorium started 5 months back, and to be very honest, we bottomed down on the name of the auditorium just 2 days ago. We had so many options, all our kind parents had given us many options. Teachers had given us options, students had given us options, and finally we believed that the vision of the chairman to have a performing arts center should be the reason for the name. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Ram Manch. Manch, stage. Stage for rhythm, art and music. This, dear parents, is the vision of our chairman. Have a stage, honor students, your rhythm, your art and your music.
one should never ever go for a checkup. Now you will have a doubt as to how you could know about your health. This great man says, when one is healthy, one has these things: enthusiasm to work and enthusiasm of being compassionate. This great man also says, the first thing I sold before I sold anything else in the market was my ego. It gives me immense pride to call this great person with lots of reverence a living legend of our times and the people's doctor, Padma Bhushan Dr. B.M. Hegde.
A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and nephews and nieces. Our chairman of the school community, Bhavan school community in the Middle East, and my good friend Ramachandra Etan. In Malayalam, Etan is a very important word. He is like a brother, elder brother, with respect. And his very handsome young son, Suraj, His Highness Abdul Rahman, sir, our cultural ambassador from the embassy, Deepak Kumar, sir. Am I right? Dinesh Kumar, sir. All the principals of the allied schools, principals of the local schools, respected teachers, ladies and gentlemen. I was sitting there watching the kids singing the prayer. Gave me a lot of food for thought and a lot of ideas in my mind. When I saw those young faces, bright young faces, brilliant, singing Ishwara Allah, Sunlo Pukar, oh God, listen to our prayers. Wasn't that very good? You know what first thought came to my mind? God still has hope on mankind. When I see these young kids, bright, enthusiastic, and very, very compassionate, and so nice that the future of this world is probably not as hopeless as it looks today. In this world where man eats man, we can only live on hope. Man lives on hope. And that hope was revived in me this evening when I saw this kid singing. I must tell you a word or two about this institution called Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Time was when, in 1938, when the freedom struggle was at full swing, there was a man with vision called K.M. Munshi. And this man thought, unless we are able to spread the Indian wisdom, Bharatiya Vidya, Vidya is translated not into education but into wisdom, Prajnanam Brahma. And he started this institution. And that was a great beginning, and it has been going on for the last about 77 years. And it's grown so big that we are now in 142 countries. And every government, including the government which you think is probably inimical to India, Portugal, they donated enough land for a Bhavan center in Lisbon. About 6 months ago, I was in Lisbon, and the cultural minister told me that they are prepared to give us more land if we wanted. And that is how the Bhavan grew. Because Munshi's idea was, when Voltaire, the great French thinker who said, I quote, when we were hunter-gatherers roaming the forest in Europe, these Indians had institutions of educational excellence in 5 universities in Nalanda, Taxila, Bindaband, Ilyabas and Banaras, where wise people from all over the world flocked to get more wisdom. Full stop. It doesn't behoove us today either to question their antiquity or their authenticity. And that was the idea of spreading the Indian tentacles abroad. India never invaded a country in the history of India, but we want to spread our wisdom to other countries. And that's the reason why even in the Gulf, there are a lot of Bhavans institutions and Bhavans institutions all over the world. From one end of the world to the other end, we have been spreading this vision and mission, not for anything else except to spread goodness among man, and camaraderie among men, and then compassion of man towards another human being and all creatures of God on earth. Because every one of us, including the animals, have a consciousness. And we have our own vision of this world, which is called biocentrism. I have a vision of the world, that's my world. You have a vision of the world, that's your world. A dog has a vision of the world, that is its world. And today there is no universe, but we have a multiverse. And in this multiverse, to survive, you must be wise and good. And the education. Today, looking at these schools and listening to what was being said about the school in the last 5 years, how it grew, I was reminded of that great man, Pestolesi. Some of you must have heard of that name. When Tsar Alexander II, who was a very cruel Tsar, invaded Austria. And he took over Austria and called all the teachers out in the open from all schools and told his army, close all the schools and convert them into military barracks. And nobody could talk to Tsar because he was a very cruel man, very powerful man. He could finish you off if you raised a little finger against him. But there was this man, an old teacher in a school like the Bhavan school in Abu Dhabi. The man came forward and said, respected Tsar Sahab, any country which does not have schools to teach the youngster generation, a country will perish. And if you closed all the schools in this country, not only this country, but your empire will perish. Tsar Alexander II, a cruel man, was suddenly taken aback. And he called the man and said, your school shall not be shut down. He told the army, don't shut down his school where he is a teacher. And today, every good school in Europe is called not a school, but a Pestolesi. That is the importance of education. Education is not to transfer the 3 hours to the student's head from the teacher's notebook. No, that's not education at all. Education is to make a man or a woman out of you. A man or a woman out of you. How do you make that? You build his character. What is character? Character is not what you think it is. Character is what one does when no one is looking at him. That's your character. That's the essence of everything in this universe. We can be very nice outside, externally. That's only playing a drama. But inside, when nobody looks at you, how honest you are, how good you are, how compassionate you are, is what is called your character. There are only 2 things in this world that run this world. Remember that. Satyam, Brihad Ritam Ugram, Vishwam Dharayanti. There are 2 wheels for this world. And the first wheel is truth. Not a truth, but the truth. There's a subtle difference between a truth and the truth. Khalil Gibran says, what you think may be a truth, it can convert into B truth after some time. But the truth, and that's the Satyam. Then what's the next one? Ritam, ethics. What kind of Ritam? Brihad Ritam, the highest ethics. How? Applied Ugram, sternly and very sternly in the life. So if you follow ethics and truth, you shall be a man, and this earth shall belong to you. So beautifully sung by Rudyard Kipling, who spent 8 years in India and came back to England and wrote this poem called If. And that's the best poem in the English language today. And recently a poll of various poems, right from Shakespeare down to Auden, and the poem that got the maximum votes was If. I'll tell you a few lines and see how it is. And this is what you teach the students. If you can keep your head when all about you have lost theirs and blame it on you, if you can walk with the kings but still keep your common touch, if you can mix with the crowd but still keep your virtue, and if you can forgive, if you can fill the unforgiving minute, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, and if you can treat triumph and disaster, the 2 impostors, just the same, this earth shall belong to you, my son, and more, you shall be a man. The same thing for a woman, you shall be a woman. So you must have these qualities of head and heart. You should be compassionate, you should be able to tolerate criticism, and criticism is something good because when you do something, only people criticize you. If you don't do nothing, nobody criticizes you. So you should be able to keep your head when all about you have lost theirs and blame it on you. And that is what education is all about. Writing about today's education, especially higher education, The professor of English in Yale University recently wrote a beautiful article. I want every teacher to read that. The article's heading is Disadvantages of Elite Education. Disadvantages of Elite Education. I'll tell you what happened to this man. This man was a professor of English in the Yale University. He had only gone to elite schools. He had gone to schools and all the elite educational institutions. This man loses his wife at the age of 42. And he didn't know how to live because he took a servant. And he didn't know how to communicate with the servant because she has not gone to Yale. She was not from Princeton. She was not from Harvard. And she was not from Stanford. Life became miserable because he never realized what this world is. And don't you build a school where you bring out elite students as elite citizens tomorrow. They should know what this world is. This world is full of illiteracy, ignorance, poverty, disease, squalor. And every child should know that because tomorrow he has to take all of them together. And there should be no difference between man and man. Because all of us are born equal. All of us are going to die equally. And all of us will have to have two qualities of head and heart. A, care. You care for others. Trouble. You always have trouble. There's no human being on earth who doesn't have trouble in the life. And if you have trouble, you should be able to care. And care for others, your troubles will go. And that's what D.H. Lawrence so beautifully wrote. Our egress into this world was naked and bare. We have not come with anything. Our progress in this world is trouble but care. Our egress from this world will be nobody knows where. If you do well here, you will do well there. Teach the child. Because teach the child, you know what Abraham Lincoln wrote to the headmaster of the school where he was sending his son. Dear Mr. Headmaster, I am sending my son to your school, my blood. Teach him that cheating is worse than dying. Teach him to be honest and teach him not to cheat anyone. And I am giving this, my child, to you in your trust. Make him a man. Today's people would have written, as the President of America, I am sending my son. See that he passes every exam. No, he didn't say that. He said, he is my blood. Look after him. That is what every parent wants, though they don't really say that. Now here is this great man, Ramachandran Menon. He reminds me of Robert Frost. The road diverged in the woods, and I took the one less traveled, and that made all the difference. Ramachandran, congratulations. You've done very well. The way the school existed for the last 5 years, there's an old saying in our language, the future of the child could be gauged by looking at the first shit that the child gets out. Similarly, the first 5 years, of course, in the life of an institution is nothing. It's just probably a second. But the way it has grown in 5 years, I can reasonably predict. Of course, prediction is unscientific because in quantum physics, there's no tomorrow. You can't predict nothing. But reasonably, this school will last for a very, very long time, helping not only the Indian expatriate community, but the local Abu Dhabians. That reminds me, let me wish all my Abu Dhabi brothers and sisters a very happy National Day. A word of wisdom to the expatriates here. If I were to use the Indian language, this is your karma bhumi, where you come to work and earn and survive. But your janma bhumi, where you are born, you owe a debt of gratitude. But this country, you owe a greater debt of gratitude because this country has given you bread and butter. So do everything in your power to help this country also to survive with all the good things that the country wants. Thank the rulers for giving you this opportunity. Thank the people for having you here as brothers and sisters. You remember even in our own country, people from one side, if they went to the other side, there are some fanatics who say, oh, they are not us. You know, in India today, what has happened is we have Tamilians, we have Malayalis, we have Bengalis, we have Biharis, but no Indians. I want all of us to think as Indians first, Indians next, and Indians last, and here as Indian Abu Dhabians. A word of suggestion to the teachers. Advice is a very difficult thing. Advice is like castor oil, very easily prescribed, but very difficult to take. My suggestion to the teacher is, all that you have to do in teaching is learning. Remember that, teaching is learning. And you learn every day from your students. I always tell my people, I have learnt a little from my teachers. I have learnt a little from the books. I have learnt a little from my patients. But more than them all, I have learned from my students, because I have been teaching for the last half a century. And teaching is so good because it is in teaching that you learn. Remember that. It's in teaching that you learn. Because you learn for yourself, you can have scotomas here and there, you've got blind spots. But when you go to teach, you can't afford to have a blind spot because you don't want to be exposed when a student asks a question. And if the student does not know a thing, I request you, never ever condemn that student. Because there isn't anything called good student and bad student. There are only indifferent students and industrious students. And students evolve at different pace. Students develop at different pace. So if somebody has not really evolved because that's not his time has not come, so don't condemn, because the minute you condemn a student, he is finished for the rest of his life. Because he gets frustrated and that impression remains in his mind. And the school is the best part of education. School is the essence of education. The school is the backbone of education, because it's the first 15 years, according to science, the mind is very fertile and impressionable. And then they are completely converted into good human beings. And as the saying goes, it is very difficult to convert a convert, but you can always convert a non-convert. So if you have not converted a child by the age 15 to be a good human being, no higher education institution can do the job, because they are already non-converts. They'll convert them very easily to any area they want. You convert him first to be a good human being. Good human being. And that is what I call as rounded education. A rounded education requires an all-weather proofing of the child. You can't teach the child anything, because the child is a genius. Did you know that? So are you. Your job is only get that brightness out and polish it. As the Sanskrit saying goes, Dagdam, Dagdam, Punarapi, Punaha, Kanchanam, Kantavarnam. Even the gold to shine, the shine comes when you heat it and beat it. And after repeated heating and beating, then only the shining comes out. That doesn't mean you heat the child and beat the child. All that I'm saying is, it's just a metaphor. All that I'm saying is, you train the child. You get involved with the child, and you compassionately look at the child and think that you are the child and your job is that of a midwife. I call every teacher as a midwife. Why? You are not delivering anything. What does a midwife do? Stands by the side of a pregnant mother in pain, coaxing her, cajoling her, sympathizing with her, empathizing with her, provoking her. But who delivers at the end of the day? The mother. So a teacher must be not delivering a lecture. That's no use. Teacher must stand by the side of a student in distress, coaxing him, cajoling him, empathizing with him, sympathizing with him, and last, provoking him. Prachodayat. Om Bhurbuha Swaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Diya Yono Prachodayat. Oh God, provoke me. Give me inspiration. And that is where the child really feels so happy. One of the children there was saying, oh, my teacher is so good because she helps me. That was the best statement that the child could have made. I don't know if the child is prompted. If the child is done it without any prompting, I think that was the best certificate Ramachandra Etan could get for his efforts of the last so many years. You know what? The school must be a place where a child should want to come on a holiday also. And in the morning the child should not say, I have to go to school. Or the parent has to drag the child to school. That's a bad school. The child should say, Mommy, I don't even want breakfast. I want to go to school because my teachers are waiting there, my friends are waiting there. And that is a school. And I hope this school here is a school like an ice cream parlor. Children want to go even on a holiday. See the difference? If you tell a child, I'm taking you to an ice cream parlor, the child is so happy. But if you tell a child that I'm dragging you to a dull school, the child will be miserable. It's like taking him to the prison. School must be a nice place where the child should do what it wants to do. Remember that. In addition to your giving the 3 hours, which are the least important part of the whole thing. Today, education, especially higher education, has no values at all. It has become so bad in the United States of America. I remember 3 years ago, there's what's called the CHEA, Council for Higher Education Accreditation. Absolutely in chaos, absolutely in doldrums. There are 350 universities, and this body is the body of all the 350 university presidents. 3 years ago, there was a president called Robert Glidden, a good friend of mine. Bob called me and said, Professor Egde, please come to our meeting in Phoenix, and then please address our people on what is called moral education in higher education. So I told him, it's like Ramachandran calling me a week ago and say, you are going to be here on the 26th. I was somewhere yesterday, I have to be somewhere tomorrow, and I had sandwiched us in between this. So then I told Bob, Phoenix is, 22 hours from Mangalore, and my back will break if he said, I'll send you a first class ticket, but do come. And that's the real situation in which children are. Do you know what's happening there? The child pulls out a revolver and kills his classmates or even the teachers. Do you know why? Because the children are all under various drugs for so-called mental illnesses. Such a horrible thing that we doctors do on society. One bold professor of psychiatry, Grace Elizabeth Jackson in New York, wrote a beautiful book, Dementia, a drug-induced crime on mankind. Because the mind is not in the brain, and the drugs don't affect the mind. Drugs affect the brain. And when you affect the brain with antidepressant drugs for a child which is depressed, it's not depressed really. The child can't cope up with the school. So the child is not interested. So immediately a diagnosis of ADHD is given, and the child is given all kinds of rubbish drugs. And these drugs provoke suicidal tendencies and homicidal tendencies. So it is a very difficult situation all over the world. But we must put a foundation in the first 15 years of building a child. Swami Vivekananda, one of the great brains of India, once said, education is the manifestation of the perfection which is already in man. He was not a scientist, but he was giving a scientific version of what happens to human beings. The day you are made in your mother's womb, you are a single cell, which is called a zygote, and you are the fusion of the mother's ovum and the father's spermatozoon, and implanted in the uterus. And that day, do you know your weight? 0.1201 gram. But that speck of protein gets what's called consciousness from the universe, which means the child gets all the wisdom that is to be known posteriori and priori on that very day. So there is nothing that you can teach any child, anything that the child does not already know. All that you do is education. In Latin, educe is the root. Educe is simply deliver. What do you deliver? You deliver the best out of the child. And that's why I say every teacher is a midwife. But unfortunately, today's teachers are banking education. You know what banking education is? You write your notes from somebody's textbook, which is written by somebody, and that somebody is somebody, and it's second and third and fourth hand knowledge, and you take the notes to the class and dictate it from the top end of the left hand to the bottom end of the right hand. That is not education at all. I sometimes go to schools and tell them what education is. I take a bottle and a mug of water, and then take the bottle and put the water on the bottle. Occasionally a child says, sir, you have not removed the stopper. It makes me so happy. Child is observant. I have not taken that's exactly what we teachers don't do. We don't take the stopper, but we pour the thing into the child's head, which goes outside the head, below the head, by the side, and above the head, but not into the head. Did you get that? But when you try to get the best out of the student, with all the compassion, with all the provocation, and that child will blossom into a beautiful flower. You know what William Wordsworth said? It's like the daisy. Daisy is a flower. What does the daisy do? It doesn't join any organization to work. The daisy, with the shadow that it casts, protects the lingering dewdrops from the sun. What a beautiful saying. What does the daisy do? It just opens in the morning. It just opens in the morning. And when it opens, it throws some shadows. And these shadows protect the piercing sun, killing the dewdrops. Gives some protection. So man or woman should simply open in life, in any sphere of activity. You may be an administrator, like our IAS officers. You may be a sheikh. You may be Ramachandran, a banker turned educationist. You may be Suraj, the budding future Ramachandran, chip of the old block. You may be a teacher. You may be a principal. You may be madam educational advisor to the Bhavan, or whatever have you. But one thing is important. Open up in the morning. People come in contact with you. My nephew Sudhir is there. He is the president of one of the biggest financial companies in the world. And what does he do? People come to him every day. And he just has to open, that's all. Show some compassion. And that makes the day for the other man. For which you require very good inside heart, which comes from your culture. And culture is what you do when no one looks at you. That is the Bharatiya Vidya, the Indian culture. Indian culture is, do you know what the Indian culture is? Vakevam kritayevam sajjanam, vakaivam kritayevam durjanam. Walk your talk. One who says what he does and does what he says is a good man. Vakevam kritayevam sajjanam, vakaivam kritayevam durjanam. Somebody who says something and does something else, he is a durjana, very bad man. Don't follow him. So I want all of us to be sajjanas and all the children to be sajjanas for the world to be a better place to live in. We require, today the world is expanding thanks to technology. You can go to the moon, you can fly like a bird, you can swim in this like a fish, and you can do anything. But remember one thing, we have a very small heart, very narrow mind. We hate each other. There is no place for hatred, because your cells, body cells, every one of them, love not only your cells, but the cells of all others. And this should be understood by us, because we are here for others. Paropakarartham idam shariram. May the Indian wisdom spread. May the Gulf Private International Education School, or whatever you have, PIES, P-I-I-E-S, correct? PIES, live here, shine here, and give protection like the daisy for millions of students in the years to come. And as long as the sun and the moon shine on this planet, may this shine like a bright star in the firmament. Last but not the least, this auditorium with a beautiful name, Ramamanch, reminds me of what Alexander the Great built in Greece, Alexandria. He called it as the Academia. That's why if you are a teacher, you're called I am in academics. You ask somebody who says I am in academics, what is the meaning? They won't know. The meaning is he built the Academia. He didn't go back. On his way back after his tour, he remained in Persia, married a beautiful girl, and declared himself the emperor of Persia, and died of typhoid fever and never returned to Greece. But the scholars went back to Greece. And there, all the interactions and all the debates and all the symposia and all the seminars took place there. And that was the place of real future learning. May this Ramamanch be the Greek Alexandria, or the Academia of Alexander for this part of the world. Thank you very much. And I have the pleasure, honor, and happiness to declare Ramamanch duly inaugurated on this evening, our pleasant national day in this country. Thank you very much.
That was really an inspiring speech, sir. Culture is what you do when no one looks at you. On behalf of the audience and the teachers of Bhavans Abu Dhabi, we promise you that your vision and ideals will be imbibed and practiced by us as we go forward in our AAVIRBHAAV.
The Bees, or the Bhavans Band, was formed in the year 2011, consisting of 100 singer students under the able tutelage of a music teacher, Mr. Praveen Shekhar. I request Mr. Ramesh Ravi to please come onto the stage. The Bees released their first video album in the year 2013, and today they would be releasing their second. Seeing their performance, the Bees were invited by the Central Board of Secondary Education to perform in Delhi last year at the National Life Skills Program. Mr. Ramesh has been working behind the screen to make the Bees come alive. We thank our chief guest, our chairman, for launching the video album.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is David, and I am from the English department, and this is Deepthi from the drawing department.
Oh, really? From when is that? David, this is a formal function. We will settle this at home.
It's just a joke. I hope you don't take it serious.
It's okay. We will see. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to one and all. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all again to the 5th anniversary celebration of Bhavans, Private International English School, Abu Dhabi. Rest assured, you will enjoy this evening.
Now at least can I go ahead and tell the audience what it is? Okay, wonderful. Right, thank you. Well, I was saying in our school we follow a system where it's been embedded by our chairman to have a holistic education system, and we very strictly and very sternly follow it. In fact, when you did see the video where chairman was talking about how they did find there was a lag, there was a crisis in Kuwait in 1998 where schools were having major issues with regards to education and teachers were not teaching properly. He went ahead and started a school. Now most of us see a problem. We either back off or we take a very small solution or a temporary solution. But however, our chairman has gone ahead of us, ahead of everyone, to go ahead and start a new school, which really is very impressive. And I think students, we should take this thought into our minds, where we should not look at a problem just in a temporary solution. We should try to make something bigger to solving that issue. In that way, I really appreciate our chairman, sir. Now, in regards to the next dignitary, I would like Deepthi ma'am to go ahead and please welcome him on stage.
Now, I call upon Mr. Dinesh Kumar, IAS, who's the First Secretary, Community Affairs, Embassy of India, Abu Dhabi. A dynamic personality who's qualified to be a teacher with a degree in science and a master's in history. He is an officer from Indian Administrative Service, 2004 batch, from the Nagaland cadre. Among the various responsibilities held by him are Deputy Commissioner, District Magistrate Nagaland from 2008 to 2011, Commissioner of Taxes, Nagaland from 2011 to 2012, Personal Secretary to Union Minister of State for Railways from 2012 to 2013, Personal Secretary to Union Minister of Labour and Employment during 2013, and many among others. Sir, we are proud to have you with us today.
Respected Chief Guest of the program, Professor Dr. Hegde, Sir, Chairman of the institution, Mr. Ramchandran, Vice Chairman, Mr. Asraf, all the distinguished guests, all the principals of various schools, distinguished guest Mr. Rahman, ladies and gentlemen, and dear students. It's a privileged moment for me attending this function, as this institution, school, has completed 5 years after its beginning. After hearing such a remarkable speech from our chief guest, I have little words to say, as he is a man of wisdom. He has shared his valuable thoughts with all of us, and I am very sure that the principal, the director, ladies and gentlemen, all the parents and students, and all of us will see that whatever good words he has, whatever teachings he has shared with us, we will think upon and we will see that we can implement in our life. At the outset, I will convey congratulations to the chairman, vice chairman, the director, the principal, all the teachers and students of the school for completing 5 years today, as this is a pride moment for them. After beginning of the school, it has been run successfully by the management of the school, by the chairman and all other accompanying him during this journey. On the behalf of Government of India, Embassy of India, I would like to congratulate and compliment the school administration for this successful journey. In Abu Dhabi particular, there has been a scarcity of Indian schools that has been noticed by Indian Embassy. We have seen in the past that Indian parents were struggling very hard for a good school for their children's admission. But in recent years, we have seen many good schools have come up, and this school is one among them. With the new schools coming up, now it is more easier for Indian parents to put their children in schools and to find admission for their kids. We hope that the school in this 5-year journey, of course, has done very well in this journey, and we are very sure that in time to come they will prosper further. As has been said by our chief guest, the main objective of any school at primary level, secondary or higher secondary level is to make the students good human beings, because this is one of the important aspects of our teaching, which is difficult to get in our higher education. So teachers, they should try their best to make students as good human beings, because moral ethics, values make us good human beings. Nowadays, in changing scenario of globalization, we are global citizens, and students also, they will be, of course, global citizens tomorrow. So any school, academics is the one part, but other than that, we have to make our students as all-rounders. Not only a good batsman, not only a good bowler, not only a good wicket-keeper, but they have to be all-rounders. They should imbibe good skills in themselves, so that when they pass out their secondary school examination, or when they pass out from their higher secondary school examination, at that time they should be able to get many skills. Some of them may be very good players, some of them may be good singers, some of them may be good in academics, and later on some of them may become doctors, engineers, bureaucrats, politicians, farmers, and what not. Because every person is a unique person. It is not possible that everyone becomes engineer, everyone becomes doctor, or everyone becomes a bureaucrat. So it is the duty of the parents and teachers to see what particular interest and skills his children is getting, and we should always promote that. We should not impose that you have to become a doctor, you have to become an engineer, you have to become a teacher, you have to become a scientist, because if your children is interested in becoming a cricket player, or maybe a football player, or maybe a singer, and there he can excel much better than becoming a doctor or an engineer. So this is a very basic common sense thing, but we miss this issue, and we try to impose what we want, or what we could not do in our life, we try to impose on our children. So this is a word of caution I would like to request to the teachers and the parents, that we should try to see the hidden talent in the children and what are their basic interests and where we can promote and give them the best suitable environment so that they can improve upon and can become excellent in that particular field. I would like to give an example. Sachin Tendulkar could not pass class 11th or 12th, but he has been the most successful cricket player. This is just one example, and we have seen a number of examples in various fields where they have done exceptionally well in that particular area because they could get particular environment, teachers, and other facilities, so they could develop those skills, their skills in that particular area. I will not be taking much time because there is a list of speakers other than me. They will be also sharing their valuable thoughts. But I am really happy to hear words of wisdom from our chief guest, Professor Saab, and he has given an excellent speech. It will be a memorable one for me particularly and for this institution also. I wish this institution a grand success and happy future for this school. With these words, again conveying thanks for inviting me to attend this program, and also congratulations to the entire school, the teachers, the principal, the students, and all the parents. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those wonderful words. Parents, I hope you all heard what he said, our delegate has said. He said, never force your children. Sir, we never force our students here in Bhavans. We in fact convince the parents here, especially when the child is drawing very well or if the child is very good in sports, we go and tell the parents that if this child can take arts as a career or music as a career, definitely she would go in and be a successful person in her life. So we do that to the parents and make sure they don't force them. Thank you, sir, for wonderful words.
May I now request our beloved chairman and the honorable chief guest, Dr. B.M. Hegde, to please come on stage. We request our chairman to honor our chief guest with a punada and a memento on behalf of the Bhavans family.
Deepthi, do you know what's the significance of a punada?
To my knowledge, I think it is to honor someone.
In fact, it's the highest honor according to the Indian culture to make someone special to honor them. Sir, it's really been a pleasure having you, and it's a honor to us to have you here today. Thank you, sir.
I think they have been more than good because they have honored me so much with the nice things which I don't think I deserve for the short visit that I have had here. Anyway, inshallah, I'll come back again.
Sure, sir, you're welcome anytime. And today we cover an extra mile in introducing BASE. Now, BASE is Bhavan's Academy for Scientific Excellence, which was started in the year 2013. Now, with a vision to adopt the role that Shikshan Bharati was doing and has been doing in India for Bharati Vidya Bhavan for the last 25 years, which is teachers recruitment, teachers training, school leadership training, and parent conferences. Now, BASE is involved in doing similar programs for Bhavan schools in Middle East. And after presenting this vision to Sri Vineet Joshi, the former chairman of CBSE, BASE was appointed by CBSE to do similar programs for all CBSE schools in the Middle East. Many teachers development programs has been conducted by BASE in the Middle East, notably in Kuwait, Abu Dhabi, and Oman. We had one very recently. BASE has been involved in students teaching in all Bhavan school with the support of its teachers and accelerating students' progress in class to enable them to compete and prepare for the professional exams like IIT in India after the grade 12. Now, Deepthi, can you please call our next dignitary on stage to inaugurate BASE, please?
I would like to call upon Mrs. Meena Vishwanathan, Education Officer and Academic Consultant, Shikshan Bharati, Bharati Vidya Bhavan, South Zone B, India, which has 30 schools in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, to launch our Bhavan's Academy of Scientific Excellence, BASE, and share a few thoughts about it. Mrs. Meena Vishwanathan was appointed in 2005 and still working. She retired as principal of Bhavan's Vidya Mandir, Elamakara, Kochi. The school is run by Bharati Vidya Bhavan. She worked as a principal for 15 years, 14 years teaching experience in Bhavan's Vidya Mandir, Elamakara. Selected as master trainer by CBSE for CCE, has successfully organized national workshop on human excellence for schools run by Bharati Vidya Bhavan in May 2012. Organized Bhavan's National Integration Camp in 2009. Among her other illustrious achievements, Madam, we welcome you on stage to do the honors.
All the distinguished guests on the present here, ladies and gentlemen, and dear students, namaste to all of you. I think I'm indeed delighted and honored to be present on this auspicious occasion like this to inaugurate the Bhavan's Academy of Scientific Excellence. I think it's conceived on similar lines like the Shikshan Bharati, as was mentioned, which is the educational wing of Bharati Vidya Bhavan, to which I belong and I stay in India. Now, BASE is actually adding a new dimension to school education. It includes both teacher empowerment programs and student development programs, as I understand. These are only two sides of the triangle, and I request all the parents who are present here today to understand and assimilate the importance of a program like this, which the school has started, and you try and form the third side so that we can have an equilateral triangle. Your partnership, your involvement, your appreciation is important to take this idea forward. A forward-looking, good school alone thinks of programs beyond ordinary teaching and learning process. In the world of today, there is tremendous competition, and this has ushered in huge opportunities for anyone who is willing to prepare oneself and exploit the same. So helping your students prepare to meet the challenges of the 21st century is critical. So world over, the emphasis of education is shifting from academic excellence to overall excellence. Schools have to provide this ambience to make the child inquisitive, develop creativity and innovation. It is equally important to activate and include the right brain activity, which includes music, dance, arts and sports. The skill to handle different cultures, to be resilient to difficulties in life, work in a team, communicate persuasively. In short, the shift from breadwinning to living well. I think all this needs to be looked into. The continuous professional development in teachers and investment in the CPD has a base in the Bhavan's Academy for Scientific Excellence, which is going to be inaugurated today. Total quality management, induction programs, mentoring, new approaches to pedagogy are all a must. All this means institutional excellence through teacher empowerment. And this, I'm sure, the base which is going to be inaugurated will continue to do that. Before I conclude and perform the pleasant task assigned to me to officially inaugurate BASE, I think Mr. Ramchandran and Suraj are not here. Suraj, you are here? Okay. Kindly permit me to congratulate Sri Ramchandran, the chairman, who always made me feel special and included me at all stages when the school was being formulated. I cherish my stay in Abu Dhabi during the initial stages when the school was being started maybe 5 years ago. I congratulate the principal, Srimati Girija, and her team of teachers and the non-teaching staff who constantly feel enthused and work towards the vision and goal set for them. This has led the school to be where it is today. Please give them a big hand. For me, the director of the Bhavan schools, Sri Suraj Ramachandran, needs special mention. I feel extremely proud of his achievements, and I think I can. He is an alumni of the Bharati Vidya Bhavan School at Elamakara in Cochin, of which I was the principal. And his qualities of head and heart and leadership have helped to make his team, take the team forward to make the school a second home for the students and to think of providing them various activities under this program called BASE. On this occasion of the Founders' Day, in appreciation of the wonderful work being done, I would like to initiate an endowment of rupees 50,000 in memory of my late husband, G. Vishwanathan, for awarding prizes to students who complete class 10 and 12 from this school. Thank you for inviting me. In the presence of this august gathering, I declare the Bhavan's Academy of Scientific Excellence inaugurated. Thank you, and wishing the school all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, and we'll ensure whatever feedback has been given to us, we will definitely go ahead and apply that. And it's good to know that you did teach, Suraj sir. I would speak to you later, ma'am. We need a lot to discuss.